Hey, what's up, everybody? So glad you are here. This is the Ho Hum to Hallelujah. 8 steps to manifesting your dreams, your desires, what you want in 2023. I'm so glad that you are here for class number 3. I want to start this thing right off with the dictionary definition of manifestation. It's materialization. It is outward or perceptible indication. So we're going to use the word manifestation to indicate either one, indicate and indicate what you want has started to materialize. When we talk about manifestation, that's what we're talking about. What you want starts to materialize. You're becoming aware of it. You can start to see it. It's becoming like, aha, it's becoming a real thing in the real world. So when what you want starts to like peek its head around the corner, like, hey, giving you a little wink, hi, I'm here. That's manifestation. And those are the moments that we start to get excited. Let's be honest. And our excitement like pulls you forward. It keeps you engaged in the 8-step manifesting process. That's our goal. Participating in the Ho Hum to Hallelujah really means that you're someone who is producing these what appears to be like miraculous results in your life. And it's very exciting to be a part of it. But it's not really miraculous for you, if you're being totally honest, because miraculous results are natural for people like you. People who are more inclined to a spiritual perspective about the world. And, let's be honest, the people around you, they probably don't really understand you because you are the anomaly. You're the weirdo who says, like thoughts become things, right? Like, I just want you to know, only weird people say that shit. And that's you. And that means that you also get to live in that reality, which is really cool. So you can't even acknowledge that miracles happen unless you're a spiritually focused person. And remember that when I say spiritually focused, I mean it's like you're focused on like the spirit of things, like the essence, the context of the situation, the quality. And for you, you're present to the unseen forces in life that guide and direct us, that are guiding and directing everything. You're present to it. You're connected to the feelings of things, the intuitive information. You've expanded your awareness. And if you're really being honest with yourself, you see things that other people don't see. And our time together is really about like sharpening that focus. The objective that I have as your teacher for these next 8 weeks is to really hone in and refine your spiritual focus. And here's why. As you continue to get present to the unseen forces, you get more relaxed and you get more peaceful. And when you're more relaxed and peaceful, life is easier. And the more peaceful and easier life is, the more empowered you get. And when you're empowered, let's be honest, you're creative, you're curious, you're open, you're resourceful, and that makes you attractive. In other words, other people want to be around people like you when you're empowered and energized, curious, up to stuff. It's attractive. It's magnetic. And that creates abundance and opportunities. So welcome back to Ho Hum. We're on week 3. I'm super glad you're here. We've been doing this now for 14 days. I think today is like our 15th day. And we've started this adventure in 8 steps. And I just want you to know, I don't know what's happening with you, but I'd like to hear. For me and for Kristen, I mean, we are on fire doing this class again. And the both of us are like, wait a second, why are we not doing this more often and getting ourselves into this crazy flow? So all of us have spent 2 weeks focusing on setting intentions, continuing to do what we're doing, giving the gift, doing our gems, being in the flow, working on our manifesting. Would you do me a favor and raise your hand if you have something that you've been noticing, experiencing some positive results, some miracles that you want to share? I only want the 15, 20-second version, right? So we don't need the extended dance remix version of it, but it's like, wow, this positive thing has been happening. It's so exciting. Who's got some stuff like that for me to share? I'm looking over here on my other monitor to see if anybody has raised their hand. Okay, there's Jonathan coming in. You have to unmute though, Jonathan. There we go.
All right. I changed my focus from saying what was I going to try to manifest instead of saying deals. I was going with leads and opportunities. I went through gems every morning and then I said I'm going to look for a solid lead.
Fantastic.
And it's been actually incredible where it's I almost want to turn it off, but I still have to wean them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Jonathan. And as we continue in the process, right? So it's like the short ball of the leads is so powerful. And then there's this other game that you can play where you like turn it the other direction and you can go way out and say, okay, I got the leads and then that's doing the deals and then the deals are bringing in the money. And now I've paid off this and and now what am I experiencing? And then there's this other game you can play that's like way out there too. So it's like short ball, long ball, short ball, long ball. I'm really, really proud of you, man. Well done. Good. Anybody else have something they want to share? All right, Sherry, jump in.
Mine was for financial freedom. And this week I sold my house exactly what I wanted to sell it for, which is going to give me enough cash to finish the construction project that I'm doing, move into it and live with no mortgage.
Whoop, whoop.
Yoo-hoo!
Oh, yeah. Well done. Super awesome. Who else has got a short, quick story to share on something positive, something that you manifested, something you're excited about? Anything in that zone. Doesn't matter to me. I'm looking over here on my other screen. That's why you're looking, you see me looking the other way. I'm trying to look at all of you. All right. Well, Mr. Ramey, just jump in, man.
So Derek and I, we've hosted 5 exchange students with the intention that as we grow older, we're just going to travel around the world and visit our kids. So we got an invite to go stay in Sardinia, Italy, and Rome for 2 weeks with our Italian family this June. Super excited.
Hot damn. Well done. That's super awesome. Okay. So my friends, listen, over the last 2 weeks, many miracles have happened, but also many expectations have been broken. And the thing to remember is that both of those things are positive. Both of those things are important. Over the last 2 weeks, you've worked to let go of your opinion about what should or shouldn't be. That's really important. You've been working on entering into a state of trust, knowing that you're guided, knowing that all is well, really important. Step 2 of the 8-step manifesting process, we talked about it last week. You keep doing what you're doing and you start giving the gift to everyone that you meet. Does anybody have a short, interesting gift story where you connected deeply with somebody and it's like, bingo, wow, oh my God, that incredible thing came out of that. Anyone? Is that Leanne raising your pen? I don't know what. Yeah, Leanne, jump in.
So you always said, ask if you just ask. And I was telling someone we work with on the real estate side, because as you know, now we're on the yachting side. I just said, we really need some help. We need admin help. And he goes, I have the right person for you, but it's because I connected with him. I have been asking for a year for help and we got admin help. Woo.
Yes, you do. Oh man, that's exciting. Well done. Anybody else have a gift giving story where you connected deeply with somebody? You tried to understand what's going on with them. You left all your stuff behind. You try to contribute, make a difference. Most of the time, that just means like really listening and trying to understand what's going on. And then every once in a while, a cool, snazzy miracle happens. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Anyone? Bueller? You could just unmute yourself and jump right in if you want. Okay, I'm moving on because I got nobody jumping in. Oh,
Right.
Jesse, do it, baby. Go.
I was like, I can't figure out how to raise my hand, so I'll just start talking.
Do it.
The person that causes the most resistance in my life from on my end is my dad. He challenges me, talks too much, and I have a hard time being in spaces with him for long periods of time. And last night, because of the gift giving and the intentional focus on again coming back to, it's not about him, it's about how I'm relating to him, I was able to have a dinner with him last night where I just felt all this unconditional love for him and gratitude for him. And it feels so good not to be in resistance with him.
Oh my God. You got the gift. He got the gift. Everybody in the family gets the gift when you're not in resistance and he's not in resistance. Well done. Keep giving the gift. Be crazy about it. Like, give the gift to everyone. Connect deeply with everyone that you come in contact with, no matter what you think their deal is. See if you can make a difference. Be curious about them. This process is so cool. And as you go through it, you start to realize that what you want is a function of where you already are. So everybody write that down. What I want is a function of where I am today. What I want is a function of where I am today, which means you start here. You start where you are. You stop going out and looking for, you don't like, hey, I need more waves, so I'm going to paddle out past where the waves are. No, you wait for the waves to come. It's right here. What I want is a function of where I am today. And even if it seems totally unrelated to where you are, I promise you, where you are today, right now, contains the right people, the right circumstances, the right resources, and this stuff will start to fall in your lap. And remember that when I say fall in your lap, I mean that metaphorically. That just means like it's like, oh, it's like surprising. And it was easy and flowing and graceful and delightful. And to get into that flow, I'd like you to write these 3 things down for me, please. So this is part of what we're going to do this week. Will you, 1, practice loving what you're doing now. Practice loving what you're doing now. So good. Practice loving what you're doing now. Number 2, practice being grateful. Practice being grateful. Nearly impossible if you have a mind, by the way. You have to be so intentional. And then the last one is to practice being appreciative, or just practice appreciation is probably an easier way to say it. Practice appreciation. Now, here's the deal. These are skills. These are disciplines. You actually have to push the energy of your thoughts in this direction with intentionality. Like, if you don't type on your computer for a couple of years, are you going to be as fast today as you were a few years ago? No, it's a skill that you have to maintain. And the state of mind of loving what you're doing, being grateful, being in a state of appreciation, those things are skills that are conducive to manifesting, and they've got to be maintained. Practice loving what you're doing, being grateful and appreciating everything. So I want you to, and I'm just trying to find, Kristen, I don't know if you're finding the person who's banging and
I got
is
it.
unmuted. Okay, you're trying to track them down. Good. Okay, so listen. Appreciate the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because I swear to God, they're all leading you to what you want. Appreciate the good, the shitty, the crappy, the weird, the strange, the freaky. It's all leading you to what you want. But that trust, that takes practice. It also takes time, and it takes mental discipline. That's why we're working on this for 8 weeks, and we're not working on it for 1. 1 week, you'd be like, oh, that was interesting. 8 weeks, we're starting to change the way that you're thinking about things. When you know that all is well, when you feel whole, complete, and perfect, exactly as you are, you know what you want to do? You want to give to other people. You want to start giving the gift because your life is already great. So practice it. All these things are interweaved. They all feed on each other. Practicing these mental disciplines help you to realize that you don't need anything other than what you already have. Your life is so good that you've decided to pay me money to watch me tell you shit on the computer. That's how fucking good your life is. Like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay a bunch of money to this guy and just like listen to him say a bunch of shit. Like, that's what you're doing. That's how good your life is. Do you know how silly this sounds to most of the people in your life who are in more survival-y kinds of mindsets? You're at the top of the food chain. Start to recognize that there is no need to get all greedy and scared and start pushing and grabbing everything for yourself. In other words, you already have everything that you need. Your basic needs are met right now. Everything that you're manifesting is like gravy on top. So don't get all freaky and greedy about it. Instead, appreciate and honor. Has it ever occurred to you that the wealthy people are typically the biggest givers in the world? Like, why is that? And I would propose it's because their needs are met. And when your needs are met, you feel compelled to give. That's the mindset that I want you to start practicing. I want you to start practicing. My needs are met. My needs are met. And I will tell you, I coach several billionaires right now. And I will tell you with absolute certainty, they have the billions and they realized they didn't need the billions. In fact, they got the billions and it created a lot of complexity for them. That the money doesn't do the trick. The mindset does the trick. So I want us to practice the mindset that my needs are already met. My life is already good. Be happy with what you have. Be grateful and appreciative. And then let's implement the universal law of reciprocity. And it's I would say more like this, the law of universal reciprocity is probably more accurate. In other words, you're going to give to people, you're going to give the gift. And most of the time, the things that you need are not going to come from the person you're giving the gift to. So you're going to give the gift, give the gift, give the gift, give the gift. You're going to give, be honest, curious, be loving, be kind, be supportive, be appreciative of all these people in your world. And then these crazy things just come out of the blue. There's universal reciprocity that is happening. But you get what you give. And you are receiving what you're putting out. You're sowing what you're reaping. So when you give without any agenda, you receive without any agenda. You naturally become influential. When you're giving without an agenda, you start to create advocates and supporters and believers, followers. And I just want you to think about a person who has 10 advocates, supporters, believers, and followers. That person will manifest so many more things than someone with 0 or 1 or 2. So I want you to think about that. Will you write down how many advocates, supporters, believers, and followers that you think you have right now? How many do you think you have? Just write it down. And then I just want you to go a little step farther. And I'd like you to tend to your garden, please. And will you write down a list of 5 people that you want to reach out to this week and give the gift to? Advocates, supporters, believers, and followers. Your goals and dreams are a part of the network that you belong to. So they're not even your goals and dreams. In the end, your goals and dreams are a part of this sort of network of humans and then the conditions that you're inside of. And that leads me to this perspective. I want to give you 2 perspectives about the law of attraction, because so many people have the law of attraction collapsed with manifestation. And I want to start to pull those two things apart. Okay. So perspective number one, there are two ways that you can approach life. You can approach life as if you're at the effect of things, or you can approach life like you are part of the cause of things. Now, context is the key. Context, the way you focus, like how you think about it, creates your reality. And it's clear that you are being the cause in your life because you're in this course. Hello. The only question that I have is, are you aware of your causing? So in order to manifest a new lover or the perfect job or that next big opportunity or the millions of dollars or the deals for Jonathan, right? Whatever you guys want, like in order to have those things manifest, you actually work to get present to your ability to magnetize what you want. You must make peace with that you are the creative force creating. So we write that down, please. I am the creative force creating. Now, that's a funky ass thought for people to think. I am the creative force creating. Like, what is that? Well, the ideas, those ideas that you get, like they pop into your mind, those are not your ideas. You're an expression of those ideas. You're one part of that idea manifesting. You're the human part of that idea manifesting. These ideas are coming through you, not from you. You are the idea. You are the manifestation. The creative force is expressing itself. And if this awareness is in your context, you win. I mean, this is many, many times more powerful than believing in the law of attraction. Because last week I told you a little bit about muscle testing, for example, and we do that. In fact, Kristen and I have set up the Center for Rapid Enlightenment. And the goal of the Center for Rapid Enlightenment is to do essentially consciousness research with the idea generation done through the muscle testing. And so with muscle testing and this kind of consciousness research, we currently have about 16 people who are in our group. What we can do is we can test if beliefs are strengthening or weakening to the body. So when we if you already know something is true, you don't need to do this. But if there's something that's like an unproven, unsubstantiated idea, it's like, do I believe it or not believe it? I don't know, right? So one thing that we are putting to the test is like, well, if I believe it, does it make me strong? So when we test the law of attraction is the reason things manifest, it universally goes weak on everybody. Essentially, it implies that there's something outside of you making things happen. But when we test, you are the creative force creating, it universally tests strong because it implies that we are all one thing expressing itself with infinite variety, and that the source of life for you is the source of life for everyone and everything. Now, if the only thing you get from this course is that you are creation creating, and that there's nothing really to worry about, then this will be a very transformational 8 weeks for you. To know yourself as the creative force is a game changer, period. Now, my job is self-awareness with you. I'm helping you to see it, to realize it, to trust it, to know it. Ho hum to hallelujah is really just a structure for you to get clarity about your power to manifest, which is a little off base to say your power to manifest. It's more like you are what is being created. So here's my second perspective on the law of attraction. Okay. The second perspective is that the law of attraction is an effect that we've labeled. And it is some aspect of the operating principles of the universe, we think, that we haven't yet been able to explain scientifically. So think of it like gravity, right? Gravity is omnipresent in your life. You don't really ever think about it. Yet, whether you're present to gravity or not, it's affecting your existence. You can't like one day just decide, you know what, fuck it. I am done with gravity. Right? It's like, you don't get to escape gravity. You don't have a choice. Gravity is there. So getting present to the effect of gravity gives you a huge advantage, right? So airplanes and rockets and kites and cars, they all use gravity as a part of their operation. But in order to learn to fly, airplane designers are present to the invisible forces that pull objects to the ground, but you don't actually need to utilize, you don't have to understand gravity to fly a plane. You don't have to understand the creative force to create. So essentially, the law of attraction implies that you get what you focus on, right? So that you're free to create whatever you want. And I'm proposing that you aren't free to create whatever you want. I'm proposing that you're compelled to create what you are. And therefore, you shouldn't fret about it. Let me say it again, okay? Because I really want this to like register, want it to register in your bones. You only want what you want because you're predisposed to it. So I'm proposing that you aren't free to create whatever you want. You are compelled to create what you are. Now, as a person, you're operating within a pre-existing set of conditions, your circumstances, right? Your physical body, the advantages of your body, the disadvantages of your body, the limitations of your body. You're predisposed to certain perspectives or ways of thinking, ways of operating, habits, points of view, certain kinds of actions. You malfunction in certain ways. Things that you're really good at, things that you're really bad at. Right? Your birthplace kind of creates this momentum in your life. It shapes the environment shapes you. Your community shapes you. The ideas that are coming through you, what you want, your dreams and your goals, your visions, they're appropriate given the pre-existing conditions. The ideas that are coming through you are appropriate for you to go after and create because they are an expression of your circumstances. They're an expression of the configuration of your life. So there's no need to worry about, like, is this going to come about or is it going to come true or whatever? And simultaneously, what I'm saying here is just because the conditions are present and the ideas are coming through doesn't necessarily mean that what you want is going to manifest. Because there are many things you still have to grow into or learn or evolve to make work. I have a really good friend who is predisposed to baseball. And it didn't get him all the way to the majors. He got hurt in AA playing for the Padres, and that was that. So as a coach, you know, I've been thinking about this stuff for like coming up on 30 years now. I don't know if you know this, but I started coaching people in 1993. And I've had to ask myself this question, like, why do some people's desires manifest instantly and others like take a lifetime? And the answer, I think, is very practical. And it depends on the conditions that are present. Who you are, who you hang around. What are you good at? What do you suck at? your skills, your discipline, your network, what you're known for, what people expect of you. But there's also this little known impediment to manifesting. And I want to have you just write it down. And that is, the more attached you are, the longer it takes. The more attached you are, the longer it takes. Attachment is like putting on the brakes. And acceptance is like pressing on the gas. Attachment is like putting on the brakes. Acceptance is like pressing on the gas. So attachment is essentially what we're going to be working on in step 3, and we're about to get to that. But just like it's hard for us to see that the world is round because it appears to be flat, you know, the power to create is very difficult to see because it's so big. It takes these long periods of time, and it's very subtle, right? To like, you have a intention, let's say, to be a millionaire. Well, guess what? Being a millionaire starts with being a 10,000-aire, and then a 50,000-aire, and then a 100,000-aire, and then you just keep moving up the food chain. And as you equalize, you kind of get used to those new places, and then more becomes available. And eventually you're living exactly what you had thought in one way or another, but usually you don't even realize it. Usually you're like, God, I really suck. My life is a piece of shit. But we look back and we're like, what the fuck? Look at that. All this stuff that you had been talking about is here now. What the fuck are you talking about? Practice loving what you're doing now. Practice being grateful. Practice appreciation. Your life today is what you've been dreaming about. So don't poo-poo it. That presses the brakes. Appreciate it and be grateful for it. That presses the accelerator. Step 1, you got to set your intention. That's about 90%, because if you can just like pluck out of the air what is probable, because your intentions are just probabilities. So if you just go like, oh, this thing, and you can clarify it and write it down and really start to like galvanize it in your perspective, that's about 90% of the process. Steps 2 through 8 are the last 10%, but that last 10% makes a difference. Anybody ever try to lose weight before? It's like you get all the way down to those last 5 pounds, and then those are the most pain in the ass of all of them. So we're going to get clear, but the last part is the part you really want to work on. So step 1, you get clear. Step 2, you keep doing what you're doing. You start giving the gift. Step 3, write this down for me. Don't get stuck in the how-to. Don't get stuck on the how-to of your goals and your dreams. Don't get stuck on the how-to. So I'll tell you a story. It's 2005. And I'm flying up to Seattle to meet my very good friend and client, Thach Nguyen. And if you've ever met him before, you know, he's a big thinker. And he had been telling me about this goal to develop a high-rise condominium building. And he felt like this was the next phase in his career. And, you know, he'd been a top real estate agent. He'd mastered the BRRRR model. And, you know, he wanted to go bigger now. So I'm on the plane ride to come up to meet him, and I'm looking through the Alaska Airlines magazine, and in the back, I'm seeing all these ads for these big high-rise buildings in Seattle. And I thought to myself, like, WTF, Thach, why are you not doing this? So I put it in my bag, and when we met, I pulled the magazine out of my bag, I threw it on the table, I start pointing at the ads, and I'm like, why have you not set your intention to do one of these buildings for yourself? And you should have seen him. It's like all of a sudden, he's like backpedaling. And he's like, Matthew, you don't understand. You don't understand what it's going to take to build one of these buildings. Do you know how many cranes are already in use in Seattle? It's going to be impossible just to get a crane, Matthew. And I was like, dude, whoa. Bro, I didn't ask you, how do you build a high rise? I didn't ask you that. I asked you why you haven't set your intention to build a high rise. And he looked at me totally perplexed. And I was like, okay, let's change gears here. Thachy. That's what I call him, Thachy. You know, I grew up in Westminster, California, right? And you know, like, it's the Vietnamese capital of the US. They literally call it Little Saigon. He's like, yeah, what's your point? And I was like, well, my point is, I think I would consider myself an honorary member of the Vietnamese community, having grown up in Westminster. Do you know about the ancient Vietnamese proverb? Now he looks at me totally bewildered, and he's like, you know, how's this white guy from Orange County know anything about any ancient Vietnamese proverb? And I looked at him and I said, Thatch, bro, fuck how, Thatch. PHUKHAU. Fuck how. This is the ancient Vietnamese proverb, bro. I'm not asking you how to build a high-rise building. I'm asking you to set your intention to actually do it so that the answers can start to come to you. Fuck how, Thatch. Release your attachment. So he gets it, like it locks into his being. And 2 years later, he had done the whole thing and built this and launched it. And you know, the rest is history. Step 3 is you don't get stuck on the how to. Fuck how. Write this down. Nothing stops the manifesting process faster than your frustration. Nothing stops the manifesting process faster than your frustration. And let's be honest, it's easy to get frustrated. It's so easy. Frustration brings you more things that frustrate you. Frustration causes people around you to flip you off, but they smile while they're doing it, right? Inside, they're like, huh, yeah, okay. Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Inside of their mind, they're like, fuck you, bitch. I'm not doing that. But outside, they're like, oh, yeah, great, sure. Frustration narrows your focus. Frustration is a feeling that represents a malfunction inside of you. Here's the crazy thing. If we put your arm out and we have you say the things that are frustrating you, you will not be able to keep your arm up. It'll go weak no matter how strongly you could think you're the strongest person in the world, and we'll have you talk about the things that you're frustrated, and it's like, brrr, your arm just goes down. You go weak. It weakens you. You malfunction when you allow yourself to be frustrated. Because when you're frustrated, you're resisting. And resistance always creates malfunction. Now, frustration is a negative emotion. Will you write this down? Negative emotions are a signal that you're thinking about it ineffectively. Negative emotions are a signal that you're thinking about it ineffectively. And it's so easy to do when you think about, what is it going to take to make my dream come true? Negative emotions are a signal that you are thinking about it ineffectively. Now, we spoke about this last time, but I want to repeat it. Negativity is the resistance that you have to how life actually is. So life is lifing along. Then you're thinking about it in an ineffective way, making yourself a victim, essentially. And when you do that, when you pretend that you're a victim and you go into frustration, you weaken yourself and you create resistance. Emotions tell you the direction that you're going. So your optimism, your joy, your excitement, your enthusiasm, they pull you into the future that you want. Your frustration, your doubt, your uncertainty, your anger, your upset, they literally suck you backwards in the direction that you don't want. Emotions tell you if you're holding an empowering context or not. When you feel good, you're holding an empowering context, and that implies that all is well. And when that's there, you're going to start going in the direction that you want. You're going to start doing interesting, cool things. But when you feel bad, you're holding a context that implies that something's wrong. And now you're fighting. You're fighting against something rather than creating what you are for. When you are in frustration, you are not going in the direction of what you want. And trying to figure out the how-to of your huge goals and dreams, these goals and dreams that are beyond your current reality, outside your current skill set. right? Those things, that'll drive the drunk monkey crazy. And guess what? Then your mental real estate gets all chewed up with these negative obsessing thoughts. How are we going to do that? And this is going to go wrong. And I don't know those people, right? So you got to start practicing trusting that what you want is coming. You got to get back to a place of just doing what you're doing, appreciating it, honoring it, doing your gems on a regular basis, giving the gift to the people that you meet. Just be open, be curious, be in a state of wonder and knowing and trust. It takes practice. But I will say that giving the gift really does help. So when you choose to be in a giving state and you acknowledge that all is well and that everything is happening for you, it's a very spiritual, powerful place. So let's examine why the drunk monkey starts obsessing over the how-to, okay? Because the drunk monkey, it's like you set a new goal, and or let's be honest about what happens. Like you have an aha moment, like, right? The information comes into your consciousness and it's compelling and it's interesting and it's life-changing. Well, the drunk monkey, bam, gets attached. Will you write this down for me? Attachment is an exaggerated fear of losing an imaginary benefit. Attachment is an exaggerated fear of losing an imaginary benefit. The drunk monkey gets attached. It gets attached to the future of your new goal, and then it becomes afraid that your new goal won't happen because the path is unclear, the path is uncertain. So it creates anxiety, it creates dissonance for the drunk monkey. The drunk monkey can't stand that you have a dream or a goal or a desire that you don't know how to make happen. Here's sort of how the whole thing starts to unravel and malfunction, right? The drunk monkey is in the prediction business. Did you know that? Did you know that your mind, that nonstop talking in your head that you can't control, the one that talks without your permission, it actually believes that it's psychic and that it can tell the future. Now it can't, but it pretends that it can. And then it gets pissed off when the futures that it makes up doesn't look like it's going to come true. So it's constantly trying to figure out what the future is to try to help you to navigate with your life, essentially. So the drunk monkey will start to fantasize about your new manifestation, right? So it's like, here it is, Jonathan. It's like the drunk monkey in your head is like, oh my God. If you manifest $100,000 this month, you won't have to be stressed out about all this debt. Then you're just laying there in bed, right? And then all of a sudden the drunk monkey's like, yeah, because debt is bad. Money will definitely solve this problem. There's got to be a way to do it. But then all of a sudden the drunk monkey starts to get angry about the situation that you're in. It's like, yeah, you know what? This debt is bad. I don't like this situation that I find myself in. The weight of this debt is not good. This is not what I want. I must change it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my life sucks. What am I going to do about this? I can't make $100,000 in a month. What if I fail? I don't want to be a loser my entire life. God, what the hell is wrong with me? My life is broken. How do I fix this? Life sucks. And then the drunk monkey's like, no, life doesn't suck. No, you fucking suck. You suck. And then it goes, no, you don't suck. The world sucks. And then it's like, everybody else is getting what they want. You got dealt a bad set of cards. Life isn't fair. All right, this is the insanity of the drunk monkey. It literally spirals you into insanity. The drunk monkey habitually focuses on how right now is not good enough. And when you add a new goal to it, oh my God, you pour gasoline on the fire. Now, why? Because the drunk monkey is not evil, right? The drunk monkey's just trying to motivate a stupid person to take action. And the truth is, our ancestors were not that fucking smart. That's okay. It's okay to admit it. Look backwards and you will see things were harder then because we weren't living in such a cohesive environment. So the drunk monkey is actually scientifically validated to have a bias called negativity bias. Did you know that? And this bias refers to the human tendency to give more weight and more attention to the negative information and experiences compared to the positive ones. The drunk monkey's job is just to keep you safe. So if life appears to be getting worse, just so you know, to everyone. But that's just your survival mechanism. It's doing it on purpose. But life is actually getting better by the numbers. Documented. But if life seems like it's getting worse, your survival system will kick in and your adrenaline and cortisol and pessimism and anger and frustration, and then you're going backwards. Next thing you know, you got these crazy screaming thoughts in your head. So releasing your attachment to the how-to of the process, the surrendering, is one of the key steps in the 8-step manifesting process. You have to practice forgetting about, not worrying about the how-to of your intentions, because if you don't, you activate your survival system. And next thing you know, when you are in survival mode, when you're frustrated, your focus goes from out here, possibility, to like, myopic, solve this problem. It narrows your focus. So your perfect solution could be right here, and you can't see it because you're obsessing and stressing and freaking out because you're making yourself wrong and beating yourself up and beating up the people in your environment when you guys need to be doing more, and you're holding them accountable to new standards completely made up by you based on figments of your imagination about goals that haven't even come true yet. The crazy thing is nobody in your environment even knows what's going wrong. They don't understand. Like, they don't get that you've set a new intention in your mind, and now out of the blue, you're stressed out, freaked out, pushing, forcing, and acting like everybody should understand. Nobody understands because it's all in your mind. So you just appear to be an agitated, frustrated jerk. Write this down for me. Collaboration with other people is the keys to the kingdom. Collaboration with other people is the keys to the kingdom. You've got to become a conducive person, conducting energy between people, not creating friction with your annoyance, your agitation, your domination, trying to control things, being a control freak, not letting people do their thing, not letting people screw things up, right? It's like, just be in your world, like appreciate the life that you have. Write this down. Frustration pushes people away. And all your advocates, supporters, believers, and followers aren't able to support when you're in that mode. They leave you alone, right? Because they love you. So they leave you alone, which is the last thing you need. So this is why it's critical. You got to do your gems every single day. It's kind of like retune the mind. Gratitude, what I want to experience, what I'm manifesting. You track your miracles. To me, this is so important. Tracking miracles and celebrating miracles, so important. You just keep doing your normal routine. You start giving the gift and you release your attachment to the how-to. You don't get stuck on the how-to. You don't get paralyzed by it, because when you're paralyzed, you get frustrated, and that frustration stops the flow. Everything stops when you get frustrated. So you don't need to spend time trying to figure out how you're going to manifest this next thing. The how-to will just naturally start to appear when you are giving the gift. I swear to God, the most brilliant, amazing, simple solution will just hit you with a flash of insight. The perfect idea will come in some conversation that you're having. You don't even know how it happened. You're just like connecting deeply with the maid at your office. And next thing you know, boom, there it is. This is the work. Practice feeling good about everyone and everything. Practice total and complete acceptance of the circumstances, other people, and yourself. Don't worry about the who, what, where, when, why, and how. That stuff, the who, what, where, when, why, how, that's not your job. Your job is to be the investigator, the researcher. But the creative force is already lining all these things up, because you're in this, if you get into this flow, it's like, oh, it's all here. It's ready to combine together. The ideas are out there. They're within your reach. But your job is to go into a flow and then start paying attention to the signs. So here's some of the ways that I will get the how-to, and I think you might as well. So let's see, what did I write down? I wrote down like 9 things on how the how-to is going to come. One, signs. You want to look for interesting and unusual occurrences. You want to stop, investigate, celebrate, look for the weird stuff. Like the weirder it is, the more you should be like, could this be it? Inspiration is one. You want to notice when you get pulled into ideas, or like you get pulled into rabbit holes. You have like super positive feelings about things. Like those rabbit holes, those compulsions, those inspirations, there's something in there. Also, notice your dreams. A lot of people get signs in their dreams, hints in their dreams. Pay attention to that. For me, I also get ideas in meditation. So just sit silently. I like to do rapid breathing and things like that, and just sit silently and listen. I also do something called morning pages, and that comes from the Artist Way book, The Artist Way. And in morning pages, I'll just write an intention out at the top, and then I'll just start writing about it. It's just like, let it flow. The ideas come in conversation with other people. The ideas come in your research, from your advisors, from different trainings that you do. But you'll be blown away by how much comes from giving the gift. Just give the gift to everyone you come in contact with, because you never know where it's going to be. So let's get ready to receive, because when you give the gift, you have to be ready to receive the information that you need. So pick one of your 3 intentions that we set at the beginning of this process, please. Pick one of the 3 intentions that we set at the beginning of this process. Write it down now. Then I want you, with that intention in mind, will you just think about, like, what would be the next step in the right direction for that? Like, what's the very next thing that you need? Like, maybe there's 20 steps. What's the next one? Because when people go like, well, God, you've been so wonderful. Like, tell me about you. What are you doing? What are you excited about? Right now, all of a sudden you want to be able to say, like, I'm excited about this thing that I'm manifesting. And I'm realizing that I think I need this next step. Like, I don't understand this thing. Like, for example, we're working on this like program right now. And I personally am realizing, like, there's a way to create this program that I just don't know anything about. And so I need to find the person who does know about that in order to bring about this bigger vision that I have. So it's like, instead of going for the big gonzo, I'm going for the next thing. So with that in mind, what's the next step? Then the other thing I want you to think about is activities or experiences. Like, what activities or experiences would prepare you for your intention to manifest? What activities or experiences would prepare you for your intention to manifest? One of our new business partners had no idea that what he needed to manifest was my wife, who would basically shove a microscope right up his ass and tell him all the places that he really sucked. But my God, is it working for him? Then the next thing that I want, hey, I know, microscope lady. Boy, what, you got all kinds of names this time around.
I know, I really did, didn't I?
What was the last one? I forgot what it was already.
I was the mutinator at the beginning of the call. Let's not even
The microscope shover. Yeah.
That's right.
All right, we got 2 more questions, microscope girl. So the last two questions I want you to answer to be prepared for when you're giving the gift, so that you, when people want to know what you're up to, what you're committed to, you can like talk about the big vision, but you can bring it down to like, well, but this is the thing that I really need right now. So knowledge, skills, credentials, experience, like what else in order to manifest this next thing? What knowledge, skills, or credentials, or maybe or like experience, like work experience or knowledge experience, do you need to manifest this thing? Write some ideas down, please.
Introductions are good too.
C. And then the last thing is, what would be a victory? Like if it manifested this week, what would be a victory? And what I mean by that is like lower the bar. What could you celebrate? If it's like, ooh, look at this. This is like one piece of the puzzle. It doesn't make the whole thing happen, but it's one little piece of the puzzle. And if that little piece of the puzzle happens, then it starts to open things up. It'd be a victory. So what would be a victory? All right. So the last thing I'm going to do is put my suggested homework for the week into the chat. And let's see here.
I'm ready.
He's ready. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm now going to go find the chat so that I can. Oh, wow. There's 23 chats that have occurred in here. Okay, cool. Well, I haven't been paying attention to that. Paste. Boom. There we go. So here's what I'm thinking about. Forget about the how-to. Just enjoy your life. Trust it all is well and what you want is coming. Keep doing your gems. Could you this week play around with manifesting a yellow plant? Again, I just want you to be in this miracle flow. So manifest a yellow plant. And then if you are inclined, report that in the group me and keep that community excitement going. Then I would love for you to identify and release your attachments. And I would personally do that with a buddy, because what I find is Kristen can spot my attachments a mile away. And I can spot her attachments a mile away because I'm not attached and she's not attached to the things that I'm attached to. Then I request that you listen to the Accepting Self, Others, and Situations meditation, which was a part of the bonus material that you got. And then if you haven't read the gift ebook, highly recommend you read it. If you have, then keep practicing. Give the gift, I would say, at least 5 people in the next week. I mean, it just blows your mind what happens when you start doing this. So with that, I want to open up to any questions, concerns, comments, thoughts, hallucinations, excitement, emotional overload, anything at all. I am ready. Anyone? Bueller?
I have a
Hey,
question.
Matthew.
Okay, go for it.
Do I have to be in the flow state to give the gift? Or am I just showing up?
No, you do not have to be. In fact, the gift will likely invoke the flow state for you. So you can be in a crabby state, give the gift, and leave that conversation smiling and feeling much better.
Okay.
So it's a really powerful state changer.
Okay.
Yeah. Go. Great question. Who else?
Hey, Matthew, it's Ken. How you doing?
What's up, Ken?
Matthew, can you explain giving the gift? I think I understand it, but I don't feel 100% confident. Is it talking to people and asking about them as opposed to telling them about you?
we could say that that would be the most rudimentary, but the gift has 4 stages. One, so there's an ebook in the bonus material, which someone I think just put into a link into the chat. So I would love for you to just click on that link when you have a chance,
Okay.
and then
Definitely.
download the gift ebook. When I say ebook, Ken, I would say more accurately, extended dance remix article. So the gift is very simple. 1, you connect deeply with people. 2, you ask questions and find out about them. 3, you find ways to contribute or make a difference for them. And then 4, you watch the miracles happen in your own life. So you connect deeply with people, you find out about them and what's important to them, and you ask questions. And then 3, you make a difference, you contribute in some way. And then 4, you watch the miracles happen. So that's what I mean when I say give the gift.
Thank you.
And you do it without an agenda. Sweet.
Sounds like fun.
It is a lot of fun. Excellent. And it's even more fun when we get to step 5, which is step over nobody. And you start to intentionally give the gift to the people that you're confident will never be able to do anything for you. Then all of a sudden your level of expansion goes intergalactic. It's really cool. Little hint on what's coming. All right. Anybody else? Help, support, questions? Jump in, Tristan.
I had a great meeting with the guy that runs Jamil's franchises today. They wanted some help with creative finance stuff for their franchisees. So that could be a lead source and a reciprocal situation there, which is great.
Outstanding. And you were just contributing and giving the gift and making a difference for people.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly right. And the key is to do those things without any agenda. And then watch the miracles happen. But it's really important also to be very, very specific about what your needs, wants, and desires are, so that when somebody does say, like, Jay, you have been so awesome to me and asking me all these questions. What about you, buddy? Like, what do you have going on right now? You want to be able to just go like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm excited about right now. I'm working on this thing. And I need this next thing. And then people are like, no way. And then you're off to the races. Woohoo. Help, support, anything at all. Questions? Anyone? Bueller?
Wendy, are you trying to get in here? Raise your hand. If you're trying to jump in, raise your hand. I'm looking for everybody. I'm happy to unmute you if you need some help.
Are you being the
Wendy's
mutinator?
smiling, but I don't know if she wants to get in. No, you're good. Okay.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
All right, my friends. Excellent. Well, my goal is that you don't have any questions, because I've been so clear and explicit about what the next steps are. I want you to know that the 8 steps are something that you do actually kind of follow progressively, and that's okay. You don't have to be doing all the 8 steps immediately. You actually want to just get reps with each of the steps, and then you just watch what happens. And then there's a little note from James for Roya to just chime in. Just chime in, Roya. What's going on?
Well, for one thing, my raise hand button apparently is not working, because you guys did not see it. But what I wanted to say, Matthew, is what are you working on right now that I can contribute to you?
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Well, let's see. We just finished manifesting a celebrity person to come and participate in one of our programs that we're going to do. So that one just got checked off the list literally today. Another thing where I could really use some help is I'm playing around with an idea, and I'd love to meet a young person who has some sort of degree in computer science, with a focus on artificial intelligence. I would love to meet someone like that. I have a project that I've been thinking about. So if there's somebody in your life that kind of fits in that zone, or you come across somebody, let me know, introduce me. I'd love to talk to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. This thing that I'm building. I can't tell you yet because it's that fucking cool.
That is really awesome. And congratulations on manifesting the celebrity. That's really cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's really fun. And will you guys just make sure that you block off June 9, 10, and 11 and plan to come up to the mountains for something fun with Kristen and I, because we got a really cool plan that is coming together. We're gonna announce it next week, but we're gonna let you know before we let other people know. So I think we're going to announce it on the 15th, but we're going to announce it to you on the 14th. Something like that. Am I saying it right, Kristen? Kristen's like, she's muted and she's correcting me.
We're gonna make the announcement earlier on the 15th, which is the same day that we get back together with this group.
Oh, got it. Okay, good.
So stay tuned. A week from today, we'll give you all the deets.
You'll get all the details. All right, sweet. All right, my friends. Well, listen, appreciate each and every one of you. Looking forward to talking to you next week and seeing what you got going on in the group me. Keep us informed. All right. Talk to you all soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.